What's up everyone, welcome back to another GTA Online vehicle comparison, where today I'll be comparing the recently released Oppressor Mark II that was released as part of the After Hours DLC with the original Oppressor Mark I, which was released as part of the gun running DLC. I'll be comparing the prices, mod shop options, their top speeds, their armor and their weapons. So starting off with a price comparison, the Oppressor Mark I comes in at an undiscounted price of $3.524 million. Then in order to modify it, you must purchase a gun running bunker and a mobile operations center with the mod shop inside. Now the cheapest bunker is at the north of the map and will set you back another $1.165 million, and then the lowest price you can get the mobile operations center for with the mod shop inside of it is $2.18 million. And then at this point you would have spent a total of $6.896 million before any modifications take place on the bike. And then you're going to have to spend another $180,000 upgrading the bike's weapons to homing missiles, which makes the total cost of this bike at least $7.049 million, provided that you haven't done any discount missions. Also, that price doesn't include any extra modifications like changing the paint color or adding a livery. I'm just talking about the bare bones payments that you're going to need to make in order to get this bike with the homing missiles. I find it quite interesting actually how the price doubles as soon as you factor in all of the other costs, like actually buying the mobile operations center and the bunker and everything else that you're going to have in order to actually be able to make any modification to the bike or even be allowed to own it. The Oppressor Mark II on the other hand comes in at an undiscounted price of $3.89 million. Then on top of that, because it only comes with a set of pretty poor machine guns, you're going to need to purchase a nightclub and a Terabyte, and make sure that the Terabyte has the mod shop inside of it in order to be able to give this thing good weapons. The cheapest nightclub is the Elysian Island nightclub, located at the south of the map and costs $1.08 million. And the lowest cost of a Terabyte with the mod shop upgrade inside is $1.87 million. Then there are two weapon upgrade options for the Mark II, which are explosive machine guns and homing missiles. I'll explain later why you need to get the homing missiles, but at a cost of $180,000 for the homing missiles and $275,000 for the explosive machine gun, this brings the total price of the Mark II Oppressor to at least $7.02 million, which is less than the total price of the Mark I and demonstrates that you shouldn't judge the cost of something just from the main price on Warstock Cash and Carry, because there's so many background costs and extra fees you're going to pay to get something that you want in the long run. Now in terms of mod shop options, both bikes allow you to add armor, add an engine block, engine tunes, headlights, liveries, respray and weapons. The only big difference is that the Mark II provides an explosive machine gun as well as weapon options, while the Mark I does not, and also provides the option to add countermeasures, which by the way I would recommend flares for. Also, in order to get missiles for the Mark I, you need to go through a load of annoying gun running research, which is not required at all to get the missile upgrade for the Mark II. This research takes a long time unless you want to fast track it, which is very expensive to do. I think it's a little over $10 million to fast track everything in one go, which of course is just an insane amount of money. That will take you so much time to grind, it's unreal. Now I'm going to provide you with a speed comparison in the form of a drag race between both bikes on the ground. Although they can both fly, their top speed is highest when they are on the ground, which is why I'm making a comparison between them while they're on the ground. We can clearly see from this footage that the Mark I Oppressor is the superior vehicle in terms of speed, because the boost regenerates when you make contact with the ground, while the Mark II boost only regenerates when you stop accelerating. However, although this race shows that the Oppressor Mark I is slightly faster, I do not feel that a drag race is a conclusive way to test these two vehicles in terms of speed. So on top of this, I did a time trial for each bike, starting at Los Santos Airport and ending at the mod shop at the north of the map. I travelled as the crow flies and ignored the route that GTA Online provided me. Now I know that this test isn't perfect because there's no way that both bikes travelled the exact same distance during these time trials. However, I think this styled race provides a much more useful perspective because it compares their speeds in the air, which is how you would use them in the actual game. A drag race only compares them on the ground. Now that I've stopped rambling on about that, I can tell you that the Mark 1 Oppressor won this race as well and completed the distance in the time of 3 minutes and 40 seconds, while the Mark 2 completed it in a time of 4 minutes and 5 seconds. Moving on to their resistance against weapons, both the Mark 1 and Mark 2 are destroyed after just 1 RPG and 1 homing rocket. Also, both bikes require 2 explosive sniper shots before being destroyed, but you must remember that if you're hit by an explosive sniper mid-air, you will end up falling off the bike to your death anyway. Also, just to point out, it's really difficult to hit either of these things with an explosive sniper. Trust me, it's nothing like trying to shoot a Hydra or any other type of plane down, because both bikes are so small in comparison to something like an aeroplane. And they're also incredibly agile, which makes it even more difficult to get an accurate shot. Here you can see me and my friend taking it in turns to shoot each other down, and it was just too difficult to shoot a moving target this small. And trust me, it's not because we're both trash with the sniper rifle. I would say that it's easier to hit the Mark 1 than the Mark 2 because the boost can run out sometimes, but in all honesty, provided that the boost is active on the Mark 1 and the Mark 2 it's always active anyway, it's nearly impossible to hit either of them, so it doesn't really make much difference. If you're on these bikes, you're pretty much safe from sniper rounds. Now, most importantly is the weapon comparison. Both bikes come with a stock non-explosive machine gun, which I'm gonna be honest with you is it's not that great. If you want either of these to be a complete killing machine, get the homing missiles. The reason I would avoid the explosive machine gun on the Mark II is because not only is it a lot weaker than it sounds and doesn't have a particularly lethal fire rate, as you can see from this footage, but it's way too difficult to control in my opinion. Now, I use a mouse and keyboard when I'm playing on this thing. Apparently it's a lot easier if you're using a controller. I don't know. I never use a controller with when I'm playing it on PC, but I do know that I couldn't shoot it properly. It was just too difficult in my opinion. Whereas the homing missiles are very easy to use and very accurate. You would also imagine that the homing missiles on both bikes are the same, but they're not at all. The Mark II has far more accurate missiles that can take much sharper turns than the ones available on the Mark I. Here you can see footage of me on a Mark II Oppressor constantly killing my friend on a Mark I Oppressor. And then we switched the bikes around just for a fair test, and he ended up killing me every time as well. So if either of these two bikes end up in a battle with each other, yeah, the Oppressor Mark II is just going to walk it. In conclusion then, I think honestly the Mark I has been completely obsoleted by the Mark II Oppressor, especially considering how much more convenient it is to get your hands on a fully modded Mark II in comparison with a Mark I, because you don't need to do any gun running research to get the missiles for the Mark II, whereas you do need to do them for the Mark I. If you found this video informative or useful, please consider liking the video and subscribing to EK Gaming for more GTA Online content like this in the future. Also, if you have a video request, let me know in the comments section. I look forward to bringing you more content in the future, and I'll see you all next time.